Great skills again by him. Oh, marvellous goal by Lewis.
Welcome to the Rangers journey.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Rangers Journal Scouting Department. Today we are going to be looking at 5 players from the second division in Germany, obviously with links to Danny Rowe's playing career and time in Germany as assistant and a coach. We thought this would be a good place to kind of step in and have a wee look. Tonight I'm joined by a man making his debut on the channel. Stephen, how are you, pal? Nice to have you.
Good, mate. Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Not a problem, my man. Okay, so we're going to start very quickly. Our first player is a man called Enzo Leopold. He's 26 years old. He plays for Hanover in the second tier. He's played 10 matches so far, 0 goals, 2 assists. We have 59.3 passes a game and almost 92% accuracy. We've got 2.3 long passes a game, 68% accuracy. Progressive passes per 90, 6.9 with an 83% accuracy. Dribbling success again, 83.3%. Duels won, almost 68% of duels won. Aerial duels, 52.9%. And interceptions per game, 2.6. Recoveries, 8.7. Central midfielder, market value 3 million. Contract also expires next summer. Stephen, what's your thoughts on the man Enzo here?
I think he looks like he would be a good suit in the middle of the park for us in terms of the way he looks. Obviously, keeps the ball well. His passes, obviously, his progressive passing looks good, which is something that we need to build on. I think in terms of the midfield, we seem to be a lot more static. Obviously, since Rowe's came in, it's been a bit better. But I think just looking at the progressive passing that he's got, his ability to play forward, obviously looks like it would be a good fit for us. And obviously just his general success rate in passes and his dribbling, his recoveries, it just seems like a decent all-round midfielder that we could probably use in there just to make us a wee bit more dominant in games, to be honest. I feel like sometimes we lose a wee bit too much control.
I'd absolutely agree with you, mate, in terms of losing control. I'm just going to have a wee look at his 3-pitch graphs we've got here. So it looks as if he kind of maybe floats towards that kind of left-hand side of the pitch. But then obviously the next one, there's dots all over the place, as if maybe he does like to float about, and the left's kind of just his base to go and play. As you said, he looks like a decent all-rounder. I think progressive passing is something we severely lack any real quality in, as you've said. And even looking at a kind of chart on the right, we're kind of in high percentiles for progressive passes into the final third. It's kind of things, I think, as you said, that we could be using for a midfield to have control, and especially when you're trying to get through these kind of blocks, low blocks, mid blocks, because teams are obviously having a wee bit of a go at us these days. That's all it takes, one pass to take 3 or 4 players out of the game. I think something you need to have in this league. Before we kind of move on from my boy Enzo, sorry mate, we've got some other graphs here we can show. So we've got 4 and where he places in the second tier in Germany alongside those graphs. So first graph, we've got defensive duels won and defensive duels per 90. So the red lines are the averages for centre midfielders in the second tier. Then we've got attacking duels won, attacking duels. We have progressive passes and passes to the final third, successive defensive actions and successive attacking actions, and you can kind of see where he places. I'll bring you back in, Stephen, and obviously we've spoke about some of the kind of progressive passes and that already, but now you can kind of see it in comparison to some of the better players in the league currently for the games they've played. Are you impressed with kind of what we're looking at here in the data?
So you can see for the particularly the progressive passes and the passes into the final third. He's obviously above average in both. He's got some. He shows obviously what we spoke about. It's something that we've missed. That final pass or that pass through the middle is lacking at times. And then obviously you've got the above with the defensive duels, and the defensive duels once again shows his kind of versatility and he's all roundedness. I mean, with that again above average on both. Obviously attacking wise, in terms of duels and attacking actions, it's a bit more skewed. But again, I think it's a good base to have somebody who's got that wee bit of a wee bit of everything by the looks of it. Particularly though for me, as they're progressing into the final third, like you said, we need to work on breaking down teams, particularly when they're like you said, teams are having a bit more a go at us now because they feel like they can get at us. So that one pass, like you said, breaks the lines, gets us through a couple of chances, and you never know what happens with it.
Spot on, mate. Absolutely agree. I actually think you could kind of look at it both ways. Obviously, when this has been took, he's only played 10 games. But 10 games is a good sample size to kind of show what you're good at. But then the kind of ones, the attacking duels, and per 90 attacking duels won again over a full season, that's something you could see kind of progress into the above average category. But I think it is a good base for the man. You get anything else on him? We'll move on.
No, I think that's everything for me, mate. I think
Spot on, man.
Well.
So moving on, we've got a striker next. We've got Yunus Ebnutalib. He is only 22 years of age. We were supposed to have Mitch on tonight for a kind of regular viewers of the channel. 6'3", so that would tick Mitch's vertically challenged pass mark. 1.5 million market value. He does have quite a lengthy contract left until June 2028. He is a striker. He has played 10 games again, 9 goals. Expected goals is 6.12, 0 assists. Quite low expected assists as well. Conversion rate 33.3%. Passing accuracy 81.4%. Recoveries 1.9 and shots per 90 3.2. It's a 52% shot accuracy. So looking at our big centre forward here, Stephen, what's your initial thoughts, mate?
First thing that's got to strike out, mate, is obviously goals per game, isn't it? Played 10 games in, obviously, well, when this chart was made up, and got 9 goals, something that we're severely lacking right now. So that's obviously a big bonus. His conversion rate as well for the 10 games is pretty high. He's obviously, like as well, his passes look like 81% passing accuracy. Yeah, so it strikes me as the type of profile that we're kind of missing up there. Somebody who, because I think we've seen it today, the amount of chances that we can create. There was numbers floating about earlier today. The chances we've created in this season, the amount of chances that we're missing is massive. So I think that has to jump out at you straight away. Goals per game, mate. Goals win you games, and our strikers right now aren't they really performing. So I think it's the big thing for me.
I'd agree, mate, 100%. I think he looks, even when you look at his heat map and the touches, an absolute penalty box centre forward. Doesn't look as if he's going to do much else, which again, in certain games for us, could have its kind of pros and cons. But for the chat, as you said, there was stats kicking about for the chances we've actually created, and I'm sure most guys who are listening could name numerous chances that our centre forwards and attacking players have missed, even just this season, never mind going back seasons to previous players. But very, very high across the board for everything you'd want a centre forward to have, especially in a team that's going to create chances or should create chances. Total goals, non-penalty goals. Obviously, probably wouldn't be taking penalties for at least 6 months. Expected goals, high. Headed goals in the 74th percentile. Shots in the game high, shots in target again, 74th percentile conversion rate, probably one of the highest in the league. Touches in the box, that's probably a thing I would look at if we are going to create service. If he can actively touch a ball in a box as many times in Scotland as he is currently in the second tier, for me, I think it would go a long way for us.
Definitely agree, mate, definitely.
Well, again, we've got some data slides, some data graphs to show again. So again, this is just to kind of show what the stats would show compared to other players in the league. So first graph, we've got goals per 90 to XG per 90. Again, very above average compared to the kind of cluster in the kind of average area. touches in the opposition box to progressive runs. Progressive runs, we're clearly not into progressively running. However, touches in the opposition box is above average. And then we have shots on target per 90, shots per 90 again, above average in both categories. So what we've kind of been saying, he just looks like a guy who'll maybe want to take the ball in, touch it, play people in, have a shot. And it's something we really, really lack, I think, as we both said.
No, I agreed, mate. I think, like you said, the graphs here don't really paint a picture that's opposite for that. You can see the amount of goals he's scored, his expected goals, his touches in the box. Like you said, it's everything that we kind of lack right now. The amount of chances that you get in the box and the strikers are they don't even be able to seem to control it at times. So it's a big miss, mate. You can create as many chances as you want, but you need that striker up there who's going to finish the chances first and foremost before you do anything else.
That's it, mate. I think when you go back to McCoist's and Boyd's, and they're even been linked with guys like Shankland, they're not too sure where. Obviously, they're all very good centre forwards, but that's the kind of profile I'm getting for Eunice here. I think is that kind of just give me a ball in the box, let me hit shots, and we'll put a ball in the net for the team, which is, like as we've said, something we're severely missing.
Definitely.
Right, Eunice is on the back burner. We're going to move on. We've got a couple of midfielders to look at next. First is Philip Bilbija, plays for Paderborn. 25 years of age, 6'2". So again, that's a tick for Mitch. 2.5 million euros market value, and again, as same as the first player, Enzo. Contract up in the summer. 10 matches, 7 goals from attacking midfield or right wing. XG of 6.8. 1 assist. 33.3% conversion rate. 82.4% passing accuracy. 43.8% crossing accuracy. 2.7 interceptions per game. 4.2 recoveries. And we're getting 2.1 shots a game on average with a 66.7% shot accuracy. So moving on to Philippe Pierre, Stephen, what's standing out for you, mate?
I think again, mate, obviously goals is a commodity we seem to lack right now. I think he's actually, if I'm right by mistaken, I'm sure he's actually 11 matches now and 8 goals. So he's just progressing as the season goes on. Big thing for me, accurate passes into the penalty area and accurate progressive passes again. Breaks us up into the final third and creates the chances quite clearly. And then as a sort of attacking midfielder, a winger, his progressive runs obviously is a big one. We lack that, I think, of that sort of static. I feel like we don't move enough. We don't have those progressive runs all over the park. So again, mate, just that attacking threat that we seem to lack, particularly on that right side. I know Ant-Man came in and had a couple of flashes, but that right side is pretty weak in terms of our attacking outlet. So I think he looks like he would fit in there pretty well, mate. And obviously, big physical guy, which would suit the league definitely.
Spot on, mate. First thing I was thinking on was how bad notoriously our right side has been until Czerny, obviously last season on loan. And obviously Ant-Man has come in, showed flashes. It's kind of not been great for various players, but I feel as if we probably do need options on the right-hand side. The only thing, before we move on, is some graphs the thing I would point to is crossing accuracy of 43.8%. Now, I think I said this on a recording with Scotty. I'm sure we were looking at players in the summer window. If your crossing accuracy is at between 20 and 25%, that's very, very good. So that seems to be very, very high. Kind of unsure if he takes corners or set pieces, but then you'd imagine it would probably bring bring your numbers down because you're probably taking so many. But that's something that would impress me as a team again. We would be hoping to get wingers to be putting balls, not even just putting crosses in, but flashing balls across the face of goal and cutting balls back for people. And we kind of lack it. And we've lacked goals. Bargasama's kind of wee start, we've lacked goals across the pitch and have done for some time. We've been relying on the kind of same bunch of people for years in terms of numbers, the same kind of 2-3 guys per season, whether it's Tav and a couple of loanees or Tav and Morelos or Tav and Barisic getting assists and all that. We've lacked that end product across the pitch, so I think it looks like a sound addition. And again, if you could maybe get him a wee pre-contract or a wee loan to buy or whatever, it would suit as well, I think, mate.
No, definitely, mate. This definitely seems like it would suit.
Absolutely, mate. We'll have a wee flick. Well, in fact, no, that's right, because there's a comparison for these two. So we're getting straight on to player number 4 on the list. This is Oliver Batista Maya, 24 years of age, 5'10", transfer market value just at €1 million. We couldn't really find too much in a kind of concrete evidence on his contract situation. 10 games when we kind of made this up, 2 goals, 2 assists, XG 2, so the 2 goals he should have scored, he seems to have scored. 2.7 assists per game, and we've got conversion rate 8.7%, passing accuracy 83.2%, interceptions 1 per game, recoveries 2.4, shots per game 2.4, and accuracy is 34.8%. Before I bring you in, Stephen, this is to note that the man here, Oliver, he was in Bayern's academy when Danny Rowe was with Hansi Flick, so this is why we've kind of brought this man to the attention, because he will be up. Danny Rowe will be aware of him. So what's your early thoughts?
Yeah, I think you can see quite clearly he's maybe not as much a goal threat as Bobija before us, but you can see, especially on the graph on the left hand side, he's passing into the penalty area, key passes, even his accurate passes, they're all pretty high. So he obviously he's playing the right passes into the right areas for the likes of maybe Bobija or Eunice before him to be putting the balls in the net. So again, it's something that we could probably do in terms of playing the right pass at the right time into the right area. We always seem to get to the final third and it kind of falters, or we go back the way. There's no too much in the way of progressive passing or key passes like that into the area. It's 94% of the passing into the penalty area is massive. I mean, that being able to break the lines and get into the opposition box, you'll not create chances if you're not putting the ball into the box. So definitely seems like somebody who again could help us create more chances. Hopefully to get a few more goals.
But spot on, mate. As you said, the left side of that chart for any sort of passing metric you want is very, very high. What was the one I was looking at? And it's a pure, not even a cliche, but a pure thing that people hate. Second assists. So he's playing a pass to somebody who's then setting the goal up. Very high. So again, he could be playing somebody in. It's just a wee square, a wee cut back, tap in. He's the one that's broke the line. Where a pass, long passing, progressive runs was the other one I was looking at. Very high on the percentile for the league. So again, that's, as we've said, having runners off the ball, wanting to run forward, wanting to pull defenders out to places they maybe don't want to go, or take them into places they don't want to go. And passing, as you said, passing to the penalty area, very, very high. Would kind of, obviously, as we've said, maybe suit a player like Eunice, who we had a couple of kind of slides ago, just feeding the ball into the box as often as possible and making defenders defend.
No, completely agree, mate. Completely agree. So
this is where we're going to get some graphs up, and Bilbija and Maya, they're going to be on due to their kind of similar positions. One plays on the right and can come in playing in the attack midfield role. Maya can play on the left and come in and play central. So they're both on the same graphs, as we can see. So you'll get goals per 90 and assists per 90. both seem to be creeping to the kind of the end of average and above average, probably for Bilbija. In terms of the league average, dribbles per 90 and progressive runs per 90, both kind of at the end of the cluster, so looking really, really good. This is maybe where we're looking progressive passes per 90 and key passes per 90. This is maybe where Maya is a more central player that maybe likes to just float out in the left, because he is way out there, kind of at the best of the best for the league for passing and progressive passes. Bilbija is progressive passes seems to be below, but key passes though seems to be just in the kind of average area. And our final one is successive defensive actions and successful attacking actions. Maya kind of in a wee cluster, but below average in both areas, and Bilbija is above average in both areas. Any more comments you would like to see, Stephen, who's seen them on the graph?
I think obviously, as I said before, mate, Maya obviously his passing range looks very good. Something that we could use in there, and then again goals and assists for both. I know Maya's got all his goals so far, but in terms of assists and goals for the both of them, it's good numbers for the first 10-11 games of the league season. So there's definitely attributes in there for the both of them that we could be using in that squad.
Aye, I'm sort of spot on, mate. Would agree with it. I think that's the big time when you're looking at players. You've got to think Paderborn are going to be running away with Bundesliga 2 the way we should be running away in bossing games here. So, and I can't even tell you, can't even remember who Maya or Bilbija Wanem played for anyway. But it's obviously a very tight competitive league. It has been for years. Whereas having those qualities in our league playing for us, could see them fly.
Oh, definitely, mate. It's having those qualities in a team that's supposed to be the sort of one of the more dominant teams in the league. If you've got the qualities and can create against the lower teams compared to doing it for maybe a mid-table sort of level team, like you said, it'll only progress them further, and hopefully us as well.
Spot on, mate. So we've got one to go, and it is an American, John Tolkien, 23 years of age, 5'7", so Mitch will be absolutely fuming. 2.5 million market value, and again, like a few before him, contract is up in the summer. He is a left back, and obviously Gordy, who does the main bulk of our player pool, kind of leads the way. He said he's in because he would really, really suit a Danny Roll way to play. So we'll have a wee look at his stats. So he's played 9 matches so far this season. 1 goal, 2 assists. Passing accuracy 80%. Long passing 48.1%. Crossing accuracy 47.6%. Dribbling 1.9 per game at 69% accuracy. Defensive duels 64%. Aerial duels 44%. Interceptions 4.2, recoveries 5.8, and clearances 1.2. Stephen, I'll bring you back in, pal, for the final player. What's your early thoughts, mate?
So it seems, obviously, for the left back position, he seems a pretty solid, well-rounded player. Maybe doesn't stick out as somebody who's going to hit the heights, but in terms of well-roundedness, particularly going forward as well, which obviously we would be looking for. Again, with the passing accuracy 80%, crossing accuracy again, which is massive at 47.6%. Goals and assists, obviously chipping in with a goal and a couple of assists. So I think obviously going forward, he looks like he would be a decent addition, and he looks pretty well rounded in terms of, you look at your defensive duels, 64% one. So he's obviously above average on the defensive side of the game. So it does look like he would suit and again, when you look at some of the passes, the passing stats, again, that doesn't stick out to you as the sort of the couple of previous players in terms of high numbers, but for a left back, they're pretty solid numbers there. So, particularly a position mate that we're obviously light in, we have been for a few years. So it might be a good solid addition to have in the squad, mate.
I think I would agree, mate. I think the big thing, we've only got one left back. He's only on loan. We obviously sold Jeff Day, Ridvan, so you're going to need multiple left backs. So you're not just looking for a guy that's going to start every week and be a Rangers left back. You're needing guys who can come in different kind of scenarios and help out. I'm just going to point out, looking at his heat map, he seems to be a left back who maybe won't hit the byline, but then having that kind of crossing accuracy from deeper positions does kind of give Borna Barisic vibes, I think, because it is very, very high. And again, for only playing, well, when this was took 9 games, to have a goal and 2 assists for a left back will be very, very decent. So I think, again, could be a sound option to kind of raise Mitch's concern a bit high. Obviously, it's quite an aerial league, and we face a lot of high balls, and we're currently not been able to deal with high balls. So that probably would be an only question mark, I would say, for me.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think you're looking at it, obviously, Jude's 44%. It's maybe a wee bit on the lower side compared to what you would hope, but like you said, mate, there's an all-round player there. Looks like who could fit into the squad. Like you said, you're not always looking for that first choice. You need the squad players as well.
Absolutely, mate. Let's have a wee look on him compared to other left backs, wing backs in the league. So obviously, because I think Gordy's put this in mind of if we're going to maybe play a back three, he can be a left wing back, not just a left back and a 4. So defensive duels 1 and defensive duels per 90 are your first graph. We've got crosses per 90 and crossing percentage. We have passes to the final third and progressive passes. And our last one is interceptions per 90 and defensive actions per 90. Probably the first time looking at a graph we've seen people maybe more towards the left-hand side, but it is a very scattered kind of pool for the kind of left-back, wing-back players. I'll bring you in. Stephen, is there any graphs you would like to have a wee chat about, mate?
Again, I think particularly the crossing and the successful defensive actions, it seems to be pretty much on average and for the majority. There's a few, like you said, who are a wee bit more skewed to below average, but overall, I think as a set, you've got some pretty solid stats there. Obviously, a couple of them are above the lines that you're looking for at the average of the league. But I think looking in general, mate, the 4 of them are pretty much on par with the rest of the left backs or left wing backs in the league. So he obviously keeps up. It's like you said, it's maybe no out there as the best available left back you're going to get, but you need to have the options. You know what I mean? You need to have that sort of availability to rotate. So no, definitely he looks like he would be a solid option at least.
I would agree, mate. And obviously it's a kind of country leagues that Danny Rowe is going to be aware of. So again, although 23 isn't a young boy, he's not going to be a finished article. So you'd be hoping, obviously, he could be coached into a better player, a sellable asset. And obviously, who knows for there, mate.
No, definitely agree, mate.
Well, mate, that is our 5 players from the second tier in Germany. That brings us to the end of another episodes from the scouting department. Stephen, any last thoughts, mate? Is this a market you could maybe see Danny Rowell venturing to?
You would think so, mate. Obviously, he knows the league, he knows the country well. I think the league is a pretty similar league in terms of maybe no ability wise, but it's particularly physicals. I think is definitely up there with on par with the league that we're in. So definitely think it's somewhere that he probably does explore. Especially being he will know that league very well. So you would like to think that it's somewhere that we would look. Whether you go and buy somebody for there is obviously a different matter. But with the background that he's got, definitely would recommend at least having that look. Because there seems to be some decent talent there.
Absolutely agree, mate. Obviously, January window is fast approaching, so we'll see what happens. That was a wonderful debut, Stephen. It was good to have you on, mate, and looking forward to seeing you for future videos, mate.
Well, I appreciate it, mate. Aye, it's good to get involved and definitely be back on for more.
Brilliant, mate. Thanks very much, guys. That wraps us up for another episode. And remember, every night is a Rangers Journal night.